Welcome to my year in review video for 2021. And what a crazy year this was. Crazy cool year. It was fun. I had a lot of fun here. If you follow me on Facebook or Instagram, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's a lot of cool stuff. I always have different things here. If you're a new subscriber, this is a great way to see what I'm up to in this shop, what you can expect to see on this channel. If you've been following me for a while, a subscriber, then it's great to see behind the scenes stuff. I talk about why I did videos, some of the funny things that happened when I was making them, all kinds of stuff like that. We're going to look back at my predictions from last year to see how right I was in what I ended up doing. I'm usually dead wrong. I don't know anything. I don't know what's coming up next week usually. So it's always kind of funny. And at the end of the video, I'm going to make my predictions for next year. And again, they probably won't come anywhere near to what's going to happen. But comments. We're going to talk about comments. They're one of my favorite things. I really do love comments, getting them. And I appreciate everybody that does comment and message me. And I try to always answer people back. And I love going through these comments. And I save them in a file all year long just to talk about them in my year in review video. If you follow me on Instagram, you know that I routinely put them in my stories, good or bad comments all the time. It's a nice way to sort of hear what people are saying. So anyways, let's get this started. We'll go through each video and have some fun. So of course, the first video that I post every year is the year review video. So let's take a look back. What were my predictions last year about this year? What did I think was going to happen? All right, we've moved on to my predictions for 2021. Finished the Frankenstrat, probably not finish it, but I will be doing a lot of work on it. And I've thought about moving my build videos up because originally I wanted to wait until the Frankenstrat was finished and then I would upload, you know, every month or so a build video. The Crush guitar, I'm not sure what's going to happen with that. There's going to be a lot of work involved with that. And I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to get to that. The Squire bass, yeah, I really am excited about getting that going. The Gibson guitar, I'm not sure if I'm going to get to that this year. The Green Bastard behind me, I do want to get that one. I have to overhaul it. Anyway, that's my plan for next year. All right, not too bad. I think those were my most accurate predictions. But what did I talk about? The Frankie project. Of course, I knew that was coming because I was already editing video. So I knew that I was going to do that, the project, the series. Finishing the Frankie, I knew I wasn't going to do that. That was a simple one, but I did say I was going to work on it a lot, and I didn't really work on it a lot. In fact, I have not taken orders. I stopped taking any work guitar related so I can get back to the Frankie and get caught up on all my own stuff and move forward from there. The Squire bass, I really do want to get that done. That's like top of the list. I really, I've been talking about it for years. The Crush guitar, I have shelved. It's a complicated guitar. I've been talking about it for years. I did start it, actually. I have some of the stuff made and I have the neck prepared and everything like that. But I've shelved that. I want to get some more stuff done. Same with the Les Paul. I don't know when I'm going to... It's a kit guitar. I've been talking about that for years. The Green Bastard guitar. Man, this is like a weekend project. I just have to replace the pot and I have a working Green Bastard guitar again. It hasn't worked in years. I was playing it one day. The pot broke right off, like the post, and it just stopped working. I have not moved forward on it since then. And I want to do a video because it's a really unique guitar showing the inside of that. So I was pretty close with my predictions, but we'll see what this year's predictions are. But let's get on to the videos. And of course, the first official video of the year was the Frankenstrat project part 1. And I was really excited to finally get that rolling. And originally I wanted to wait till the guitar was finished before I started any of the series, just so that I could put one out, say like once every month. People were asking me like, when are you going to start this? Where is it? Because they know that's what I do on this channel. I do build series, and if I've been doing it for 4 years, like I started that project almost 4 years, 4.5 years now. So people were pretty anxious and they're pretty happy that I finally got that out and started it. And one of the things that I thought was really fun about that whole series that I'm doing is the end. The summer of 1983 was kind of pinnacle as far as that's when I became a Van Halen fan. a Frankie fan. It's when I started to play guitar, and my life certainly changed a lot in the summer of 1983. So I thought, what can I add to these videos that puts me into it a little bit, give you an idea like where I'm coming from, things that I can talk about. And of course, I had all these recordings that my friends and I did in the basement of my house in the summer of 1983, and they're prank phone calls, songs that we wrote, and like, I was only playing the guitar for like a week or two when we made up these silly little things, but the recordings are actually pretty good, quality-wise, but you can hear that we're having a lot of fun and there's energy, so I thought it'd be really fun to put these at the end of the video to sort of tie it together. And people have been commenting, saying that they really do like it, and it brings back memories for them, because who didn't make prank phone calls in the 80s, right? They say, kids you can't do it now, right? It's the cop would be knocking at your door in 2 seconds if you started doing that stuff. The second official video, the third really, Drop Dead Legs sound check. This is something that I recorded back in 2015. Van Halen came to London, Ontario, Canada for the third time in their whole career. London's one of these cities, I mean, we have a big enough population, like 350,000, but we're like 2 hours from Detroit and 2 hours from Toronto. And every big band will always go to Detroit and always go to Toronto, but there's no reason to stop at London, even though they probably go right through it every single time. But in 2015, Van Halen decided to do a show here in London, and I couldn't believe it. 15 minutes from my house, Van Halen's going to play. And it was an outdoor venue and general admission, which means I can get right to the front of the stage. I don't have to sit in some seat somewhere. The closest I had ever seen Van Halen, I was right in front of Eddie. I could see him spitting into the microphone when he was singing. Phenomenal show, loved every second. What a fun day. The problem is now I look back at the video, or the audio that I got that day, the sound check. I recorded a half hour of sound check because I thought all I got to do is stand out in the street with my digital recorder, and I did. I managed to capture 4 songs: Drop Dead Legs, Panama, Light Up the Sky, and Running with the Devil. 4 killer songs. And then I stopped. I ran home to get my wife and have something to eat because I didn't want to be standing at the back. You know, I wanted to get up front. So I managed to do a fair chunk of the sound check and get right up front stage, and I got a Wolfgang pick as well. So, you know, I was pretty happy, but looking back now, it's like a bittersweet experience because it's what I found out after Eddie passed away. It took me a while to realize these recordings are one of the last soundcheck recordings that there'll ever be. At the time, I was so excited to get them, and I thought, who knows, maybe Van Halen will be back again. Little did we know at the time that that was the very last tour. So it is bittersweet, but after Eddie passed away, I didn't know what to do as far as a tribute video, and I really wasn't, you know, I didn't know what to do. And then I realized, like, the videos I'm already doing really are a tribute. I can't do much more than that. So I didn't really do anything, and I thought, well, you know, let's take out of that half-hour recording that I've had on my channel since 2015, let's take the songs out and put them up separately just as a kind of tribute. And people have reacted really well. They like these, and they kind of get the same emotion. You know, it's kind of that bittersweet. Really good recordings. All right, then we're back to the Frankenstrat project with part 2. And in this one, I work out the templates, show how I did those. I also did the black paint, and I started applying tape. It was funny because I show how I made a template, but a lot of people were like, can you send me those? It's like, I don't send stuff to people. You know, it's not what I'm doing here. So that was nice to get number 2 out of the gate. And I didn't realize at the time, but I kind of established a pattern that I'm going to talk about in a second. And then the next video after that was something that was kind of old, back to 2016. This is when my stop sign guitar got into Guitar World. That was the second guitar that I had in there. Really exciting. And locally, it generated what I call the media blitz. I was on TV. I was in 2 newspapers. What else was? I was on the radio. I mean, it was so much fun. People were recognizing me on the street and saying, cool guitars. Such an oddball experience for me, but the news report I didn't put on my channel. I recorded off the TV and everything, and I just put it aside for a while. I didn't want to have to deal with, they were nice enough to come and do a report. I didn't want to take away from them, I guess. So I just kind of sat it aside a little bit. Although, 5 years I waited to put it up on my channel. It was kind of cool. I thought, let's finally get it up on my channel. So CTV News Canada came to my house. That was a really fun time. And then back to the Frankenstrat project, again with 3. So you can see a pattern. Every second video is the Frankenstrat project. This one was kind of cool. This is where I show my glue technique. I was really trying to find something that I could put on the body and then just peel it off, and that didn't cost an arm and a leg. And everybody that sees this video, they go, well, there's masking stuff that you buy. There's masking. It's like, I know there is, but it's super expensive. It's hard to get. And you know what? I want to find, there's got to be something that I can buy. And you know what? I did. I spent a little time looking and researching and experimenting. But you know what? I found something that works really, really good. And it costs like, a couple $dollars for a bottle. So, it's kind of cool that I finally found something. And people have tried it, and they get back to me, and they're like, man, I can't believe how well this works. It's just simple. And then, of course, I painted the body white. So that was really exciting. And if you know, that was like, 4.5 years ago, and I haven't painted the red yet. The video after that was back to the sound check, and that was Panama. Panama is such a unique version of Panama. I was amazed that, I was standing there with my recorder, and there was a handful of people around just listening. I don't think anybody realized until they got almost halfway through the song that it was actually Panama. I don't know what was happening. Wolfie and Eddie just kind of walked through it slowly, kind of like this slow bluesy version. I don't know if they were waiting for the sound guy to do something, make an adjustment, and they just decided to walk through it. But I think I may have captured one of the only times that they ever did that. It didn't seem like it was something they had done a lot of, but it was really fun to have something so unique. So check that out if you haven't heard it. What an amazing version of Panama. All right, part 4 of the Frankenstrat project. Again, back, it's like Frankenstrat project video, Frankenstrat project, every other one, right? I'm establishing it. I didn't mean to. It was an accident. I didn't mean to establish a pattern, and it kind of caught up to me here. Anyways, I'll talk about it in a second. But part 4 was, I call it the detaping. This is something that I forgot about. All this footage was years old, so I couldn't remember everything that I shot. And when I went into the computer and looked in files, all of a sudden I found this Instagram that I did, a live Instagram, where I peeled all the tape off. And I was like, oh, this is so cool. The quality isn't that great because it's a live thing and it was a couple years old, but I thought, I got to include this somehow. How am I going to include it? And I thought, why not just put the whole thing out as a part? And I was a little nervous because I wasn't sure if people would think oh, he's running out of steam. He's got nothing to do but put this old crappy video up. People seem to like it. There's something therapeutic about peeling tape. So it was kind of fun to do that. I'm glad I did now. And of course, the project has taken off. As far as details go, yeah, it's insane. The Jeff Paris interview. Jeff's really an interesting guy. He's a guitar builder, a player. But he used to work with Eddie back in the 80s. He worked for a union that he explains it a lot better than I can. Basically, he worked for a union that helped set up shows that came into Salt Lake City. So it could have been Van Halen. He talked about Aerosmith, other bands. So he got to work with Eddie and Rudy. I think he worked his way in there a little bit, being a huge Van Halen fan, but he follows my stuff, so he would message me every once in a while, and we talk back and forth, and then finally we decided to do a phone call interview because he said, I have so many stories, I can't just text them to you, there's just so much. So I was like, all right, I'm all ears, and I recorded it basically just so that I would have a record of what he said, because I thought, well, there's no way I could remember all the details. After about 3 or 4 minutes, I realized that this was a video. the audio that he, what the stories that he's saying. I could just put it out as a video. So the first thing that he talked about wasn't anything he ever mentioned before. He met Eddie when he was 17 years old, and that's the day the Frankenstrat almost got stolen.
You know, the key's not working. He's like, fuck. And he's standing there kicking it. Me and Robin run up to him, and I'm standing right behind Eddie, and I go, Eddie! And he just and he's standing there yelling, and I'm like, Eddie! And he turns around and he goes, what the fuck do you want? He just turned around and screamed at me and Robin, what the fuck do you want? And we backed up and looked at him, and, you know, we're not even fully grown yet, man.
Yeah.
I'm just looking at him, these two kids, and he kind of looked at us back and forth, and then he got this look like, oh. He goes, I'm sorry.
Wow.
You want it? And he goes, you want anything from me?
Now, I have no way of backing up his story or knowing if it's true or not, but I got about halfway through, and I was at the point where, like, I didn't care. This was so interesting. I had a fun time listening, and I wanted to find out what the results were, even though I knew the Frankenstrat had never been stolen. But it was such an interesting story, and I put as many photos as I could in the video that goes along with everything he's saying, and it took a lot of time, but it really turned out well. We talked about 2.5 hours, so there's a lot of audio, and this was only like 20 minutes of it. So there's more videos coming up next year with Jeff and talking about when he worked with Eddie. So I can't wait to get those videos up. And Jeff, you're watching, I promise they are coming. He's probably like, where's all this stuff? The video after that was another sound check video, that Light Up the Sky. And I'm telling you, that was, I guess I knew that song was on the set list because that's the one song I wanted to listen to. Not the most, but I really wanted to hear that song. I really love Light Up the Sky. But I was so happy to get that in the sound check. And yeah, I just, like I say, bittersweet, right? After that, we have back to the Frankenstrat project. Now, this is where something happened that I didn't do this on purpose, but in the beginning of the year, I started out the Frankenstrat project, and every other video was the Frankenstrat. So people were expecting, I guess, after the Jeff Paris interview, they thought, okay, the next video is going to be another Frankenstrat series, right? No, I put Light Up the Sky. People freaked out. They're sending me messages and comments. Where's part 5 of the Frankenstrat project? What are you doing? Where is it? When's it going to come out? And around this time, I was also really busy. So I was a couple of weeks, I guess it was, where nothing seemed to be happening. And it was kind of neat to think that people were that interested. I can look at views and all kinds of stuff like that and the metrics on YouTube, but when I get people sending me a message, where is the video I'm waiting for, I really appreciate that a lot. It really means a lot to me that people, it's important that what I do. So, that's a huge deal when somebody reaches out to you and says that what you're doing is important. So I really, really do appreciate when people do stuff like that and comments, and that was kind of fun. But I felt bad that because I know what it's like. I'm a podcast listener. I listen to that stuff all the time, and I can't wait for the next one to come out. So it's cool that people feel that way about me. And then next up was the Chip Kinman interview, and here I go, another interview. I'm a guitar builder, and now I interview people. Seems to be the way it goes. It's kind of a natural progression, I guess. I mean, I'm doing all this research on the Frankenstrat, and it just makes sense that when to reach out to people to find out what their opinion is, or what their, in their own words, to find out, what the story is. So Chip Kinman, if you don't know who he is, guitar player for the Dills, 1977. He founded that band with his brother Tony. West Coast punk band, pioneers in the punk genre. I mean, 1977, punk was a little baby, right? But one thing that he's also noted for is that he had a white Les Paul, and he decided one day to take some black electrical tape and stripe it up. It looks remarkably similar to Eddie's very first Frankenstrat paint job, the black and white. The thing is, Chip's guitar was first. So it's fascinating to research this, and I spent some time researching it, and it's been a lot of fun. And I'll tell you, Chip predates Eddie, so there's no doubt in my mind, and anybody else that's researched this, there's no doubt that Chip did it first, then Eddie saw the guitar. And Chip was the final piece of the puzzle as far as how I put it, where he saw the guitar, and then that's what made him go home and go, that's how I'm going to paint my guitar. And just to add more to the story, Chip got in touch with me after he heard me talk about this and how Eddie Van Halen painted the Frankenstrat. That's a video that I did, I believe it was 2019, a couple years ago. And he saw the video, heard me talking about him, and he got in touch with me. And I was like, oh, this is great. Do you want to, can I ask you more stuff about it? He says, absolutely. And what a great guy Chip is. I mean, he's so eager to talk about all this stuff, and it means a lot to him. And he's actually really thrilled that people think that maybe he had something to do with Van Halen in a way. I think he gets a big kick out of this. But we ended up having a phone conversation in the middle of the summer, and man, we talked about so many things because Chip and the Dills were also in Up in Smoke, Cheech and Chong's Up in Smoke, with that striped guitar. So there's a lot of history there, a lot of things to talk about. We talked about punk, we talked about the movie, he remembers Van Halen coming in the Whiskey and watching them play. And the fascinating part about this whole thing is there's a fanzine magazine called Slash Magazine, and one of the issues came out in August of '77 that talks about the Dills playing at the Whiskey, talks about Van Halen coming in to watch them, and there's a photo of Chip and his guitar with the stripes, and there's a photo of Van Halen dressed as punks on the back cover of that magazine. Like I said, it came out in August of '77, which means all the information in the fanzine magazine was, a couple weeks old, a month, so it happened before. And the first time we see Van Halen, it's the Eddie striped guitar, is August of '77. So, here's a documented proof. But the cool part about this was Chris Gill from Guitar World got in touch with me around this time, wanting to sort of go over notes about what I knew about the Frankie, because he was doing an article in Guitar World, Origins of the Frankenstrat Guitar. And it's also in digital form on their website. But we talked about Chip, and he's actually the one that got back to me with the PDF files of the Slash magazine. So it was really exciting to research and push and find out more about Chip and actually be able to document this. And Chip was thrilled, man. Being connected, he says, if I'm connected to one of the greatest guitar players of all time, I'm good.
No, I had no idea that it would be like kind of iconic and of course connection to one of the greatest guitar players of all time. I didn't know that there would be that connection. Had I probably would have kept it.
Eventually we'll get there. Somebody will post a photo with a date, and we'll go, there we go. There's the proof. But I think we're pretty much there. I think we're 99% certain that Eddie saw you and decided to stripe that guitar like how he saw your guitar. We don't have anything that predates you. You predate him every single time. So, it's got to be that he saw your guitar.
Well, 99%, I'll take it. Okay, Wolfgang, come on now.
Yeah, check out that interview. It's such a fun interview. He's such a fun guy, and it was great to get to know him. The Super Bass, the best of the Super Bass. The Super Bass is a project that I did a couple years ago. I spent, I think, about 3.5 years making it. That's what I do. I spend years at a guitar project. But the series is over, but every once in a while what I like to do is do like a little ad video, best of kind of thing, just a little montage of little bits and pieces, usually with a song that I wrote and played with that instrument, the guitar or the bass in this case. In this case it was an all bass song. It was kind of cool, 3 parts, all bass with a drum track. And so it just helps to put stuff out there so new subscribers can go ahead and maybe back and watch that series, because I think it's kind of cool. I'm pretty proud of the Super Bass. Back to the Frankenstrat Part 6, Frankenstrat Series Part 6. This one I take a little change. I'm talking about the neck and things like that, but one thing that I was doing early on, I did this segment called Voice of the Future, because one thing I realized when I started pulling all this old footage out, I realized it was kind of dated. The Real Frankie went into the Met in 2019 and we discovered a whole lot of things. We got all these incredible photographs, and all this footage from 2017 obviously doesn't talk about any of that stuff. So I was like, well, I want to use the footage, but how do I talk about all the things that I've discovered and other people have discovered and things that we know about? So I decided to do segments called The Voice of the Future, so that somebody watching the video knows that it's going from 2017 to the present and back and stuff like that. So it was a way for me to add all that stuff. In part 6, I didn't do that segment. And what I did was, there's a video on YouTube, and it's the MTV tour video 5150 that they did back in 1998. And nobody's seen this video. The day after Eddie passed away, they uploaded it. I'm not saying anything more about it, but I don't know why or what the reason of that was. But it's a fascinating video nonetheless, and I did a lot of screenshots, and I analyzed all those screenshots, necks, bodies, all kinds of stuff in that video. It's really interesting. I see things in there that I don't think most people see unless they stop frame by frame. In the Frankenstrat project, I will keep putting little segments of this, and then maybe I'll upload it at some point all together. So that's, but it's really fascinating, interesting, and I'm having fun doing it. All right, and then we're getting down near the end of the year, and the last sound check video is Running with the Devil. And like I said, the 4 songs, you know, like I can't say any more about these, just that they are bittersweet, and I'm kind of glad that I pulled out these songs individually and we can listen to these. Yeah, I don't know what else I can say. Bittersweet. You know, I think about that day in 2015, how happy I was to, you know, I took the day off work and I went down there just to experience everything that was there. I watched them put the stage together. As far as, you know, I couldn't go in, but being an outdoor event, there was a lot of little places that I could peek through and take a look at things. I saw quite a bit, and I made some videos, and they are up on my channel if you go back. I put them up in 2015, but what a fun day. And when I think back to it now, it's like I had no idea that that was the last time, and it was the best time I saw them, right up close. I mean, I swear Eddie looked right at me a couple times. I mean, this guy standing in the crowd. But great show. I can't say enough. All right, so we are at the last video of the year that I uploaded, and what, holy cow. This is top of the list for this year for me and my buddy Scott Bawden at FUGLY Hot Rod Guitar Shop. Phil X wanted us to build him a Frankenstrat version of an SG, and what a fun ride this has been. Of course, in the beginning, nobody knew that we were doing it, because Phil's like, I don't want you guys showing videos or photos or talking to anybody about this, because I want to unveil it when it's done. And Scott and I were like in 100% agreement. We're like, yep, that's fine. But I'm telling you how hard it was for me, because I'm used to doing work down here and going upstairs to my computer and going through photos and like, what am I going to upload on Instagram today? And a couple times I'm doing that, and I'm like, I can't do that yet. Oh, okay. I have hundreds of photos, video of all the details. And what's fun about this series is part 1 is me doing all the routes, all the custom routes. It turned out really great. Part 2 is going to be at Scott's house, because he painted the guitar. And he brought the guitar to me. It was Phil and Scott really together in the beginning, and then they recruited me. And I should mention as well that this, I keep forgetting, and I feel bad when I forget, but this guitar came from the Gibson custom shop. They made the guitar, and it was, we called it a boat paddle, because they made it to our specs. I don't know how often that happens, but it came to us, no sealer, no finish, and no routes in the body whatsoever, not one. Because none of them, any SG route I would have to plug and then re-route. So there's no point in having anything, and they obliged, they sent us that. I mean, we were looking at it like, I can't believe this is a custom shop guitar. It's a plank of wood, and we transformed it into the Frankenstrat SG. Talk about bittersweet. the day Phil decided to unveil this guitar was October 6th, 2021, the 1-year anniversary of Eddie's passing. And, you know, it was not, you know, going into that day, I knew, like, you know, it's the anniversary of Eddie's passing, but Phil brought something to that day, and I don't know even if he realized this, but it was joy. And it reminded me how much joy Eddie brought to us all. And Scott and I working on that guitar for months, the energy we put into it was a way for us, this may sound silly, but our grief process. Anybody that's an Eddie fan knows how devastating that day was when he passed away. And we knew there's no more Eddie. This world has no Eddie Van Halen in it. And Scott and I and Phil put our energy into this guitar. And I really think when you look at this guitar, it shows. You see the Frankenstrat. In fact, Phil has said, people go up to him and go, what a cool Frankenstrat. It's an SG. So I think the fact that they see a Frankenstrat before they see an SG is a huge compliment. And, you know, I think we can pat ourselves on the back. I'm proud as heck of this guitar, I tell you. And watching Phil play it has been so rewarding. And same with Scott, too. I can speak for Scott, and he's so proud of this thing, too. Okay, there is 1 year, 16 videos. All right, I'm pretty happy with that. That's a lot of production. Time for comments. I love comments, and I love to talk about them. The first year I did that was last year in the year-end review video, and I'm always going to keep including. I look at comments every day, every single comment. I was going to read these comments. These are kind of negative, though. And I've decided I don't want to read negative comments because I think pages are stuck together. What's going on? Oh, yeah, because it's both the negative comments that are stuck together. I think I have the best subscribers on YouTube. I mean, the things that people say to me and message to me are incredible, I think. They mean a lot to me. I want to say that I don't think little of comments or messages. People send me photos of the guitars that they make, even things they painted, other stuff. They ask me questions, and I appreciate everything. And I actually get leads for things. People will send me information, things that I didn't know about, and I check it out, and I do research. And, you know, it's a lot of fun. But when it comes to negative comments, sometimes it's just you have to pass them over. And I was going to read 2 of them. And you know what? This is what you should do with negative comments. All right? So forget it. If you want, I had them on my Instagram, on my story. So you've probably read them maybe. So let's go on to my favorite comments of the year, because these are the ones really worth talking about. And there's 2 of them. Let's just read 2 of them. So this one was actually from Light Up the Sky, the sound check video. But this is kind of a general comment for it could go on anything. And I really love the attitude that, because I feel like this, like I talk about podcasts and listening to them and looking forward to next ones from that other people do. And this is how I feel when I see a new one. So this was really, really fun. This is Felonious Punk. I'm sorry, Felonious Punk. So it says, him. Sir, your investment has just earned another $1 million. Your new Lamborghini is ready in the auxiliary garage, and your wife is giving birth in room 2. Me? Hang on, man. Johnny B just posted another video. Oh, man. Like I say, this is, to read this, that this is somebody's, how they feel when I post a video. That's pretty incredible, and I want people to understand that I don't take things like that lightly. You know, it makes me want to make more videos when I read this, and it's nice to know that what you do is important, right? I mean, who doesn't like, you know, a little pat on the back once in a while? This next one, you know, these 2 comments are tied. But this one wasn't actually a comment on YouTube. It was an email that somebody sent to me. And it was the day before the first anniversary of Eddie passing. And I wanted to do something, you know, post something other than just a photo, that I got somewhere, one of Eddie, with a caption or whatever. I wanted something a little different, and I didn't know what to do. And then all of a sudden, the day before, I look at my emails, and here's this. Really, really kind of cool. And it's from Yamil R. Suede. And I'm not sure I'm saying that properly. In fact, I'm pretty sure I'm not saying it properly. I may pronouncing things right. But he says, "Hey, I'm not a guitar guy at all, but I'm a photographer. I went to school at the Brooks Institute of Photographic Arts and Sciences in Santa Barbara, California. I graduated in 1985. A few classes behind me was David Bertinelli, EVH's brother-in-law. He did a photo of EVH in late 84 or early 85, black and white infrared film. I saw the image and thought it was very nice and told him so. A couple of days before my graduation in April of 1985, David gave me a print of the photo that Eddie had signed for me." It's such a cool story because it's not your typical story from a fan. It's something, we know who David Bertinelli is. We've seen his photos and things like that. So it's kind of nice. And it also puts something together. I've seen this photo before. It's Eddie on the diving board with the 5150. It's backwards, but he's pretending to play it. But it always had a weird look to it, like a filter or something. And so now I know it's an infrared film. That's what it looks like. I'm not a photographer. But it was such a neat story. And then there was a comment the next day or on that day, and it kind of tied everything together that really made it even cooler. I'll just read what the comment was. And this is from Andy Michelli. "Funny, I had Eddie Van Halen sign a card for me at Magic Mountain where we found ourselves in the same line, which really wasn't much of a line. Nobody was in it. But he signed my bank card on the back, the same thing. Look out for Andy." It's kind of cool because it must have been something that he did. If he didn't know what to write, he would just go look out for whoever, So it'd be interesting if there's anybody else out there that has an autograph from Eddie and that's what they wrote. But it's a neat little story and it fit perfectly for the 1 year anniversary. A nice story, and it's just what I was looking for, and it fell into my lap. And this is what I'm talking about, how people will message me or come to me with things. I could never have found this. I couldn't have searched for this. And thank you, Yamil, for doing this and sending this to me and allowing me to put it on social media. I asked them if I can do that because this is a personal email. I always ask people, and if anybody watching my channel, I like to give credit to people when they help me out. So this was a huge thanks because it was perfect for that day. It was. All right, we're getting down to the end of the video, and it's time for my predictions for next year. Man, there's no way I could have predicted last year, and there's no way I can predict. I'm just going to say I doubt there's going to be anything as big as the Phil X guitar coming through here, but you never know. What am I going to do next year? Well, I do have a bunch of stuff that I've already shot, videos that I'm working on. So obviously I know those are coming up. Some of them are kind of theory-based videos about the Frankenstrat. Theories based on fact, though. And I string things together, and things may not have been the way we thought. And once you see my theory, you kind of go, hey, I think he's onto something here. They're very interesting, I think. And but I have to edit. I have to, go through the whole production, and it may be a while before we see those. Paint test number 2. Oh my God. Paint test number 2. Let me get out of my chair. Paint test number 2. Here it is. This is a little sample that I have been working on. And if you follow my channel, you know that I've been working on the red coat of the Frankenstrat for years now. It's a very complex coat. It's not what everybody thinks it is. And it took me a long time and a lot of research, and people that follow me know that I've done tons and tons of samples. And basically what I've done is reproduced that Schwinn bicycle paint 100%. And so there wasn't going to be a paint test video number 2. I thought I had figured it out, but then I fell down more rabbit holes, and all of a sudden, here we are. And let me tell you, the second video is going to be mind-blowing compared to the first one. I just say that right now. There's so many things that happens. The Pink Frankie, I shot a video. I posted photos of it on Instagram and Facebook. I didn't paint the guitar. I just helped. I set it up. I put it together. I did some mods to it for a friend of mine, and it's got a unique story. And again, the year of Eddie, and we all of us trying to get over, mourning him. And this was a tribute guitar for him. And again, so much energy went into this in a lot of special ways. And I can't wait to get this video out. I don't want to give too much away. Yeah, more Phil X videos. As I said, it's a series, so there's going to be more of those coming out. The Frankenstrat project, don't worry, I haven't shelved it just because I'm doing the Phil X thing. Can we have too much Frankenstrat stuff? I don't think so. Those will be coming out, and the details gonna be like, people have been saying do not hold back on details, so I'm like, all right, I won't hold back. I'll talk about the most minute thing, and I won't edit. Before I would edit, I'm like, I'm going on too long about this thing. I'll just chop that all up. So I've been kind of letting it go a little bit in videos, and I haven't heard anybody say not to do it. So I think I'm done for this video. Usually I get to the end of the video and I'm like, what have I forgotten? All I can say is thank you to everybody for support, for watching my videos, for commenting, for sharing them, I've met so many friends through this guitar journey, as my daughter likes to call it, and I really like saying that. It's a journey that I don't know where it's going to take me, and I've met so many great people, and I'm sure I'm going to meet more great people. A lot of cool things have happened last year. The Phil X guitar, the interview with Chip Kinman, Johnny B Guitars, being in Guitar World for the third time. I can't get my head around that. Like, it's not normal to me. And in fact, in the summer, I said to my wife, I don't get it today. I spoke to Phil X today. I talked to Chip Kinman today, and also Chris Gill from Guitar World. It's all in the same day. And she goes, I don't think this is going to be like a one-off thing. I think this is going to become more the norm for you. And I'm like, I don't know about that. So we'll see if she's right about a lot of things, but I don't know. But I appreciate everything that comes my way. I just, have to say that. And thank you to everybody. Oh my goodness. Stop saying thank you. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Facebook, Instagram. Subscribe. Give me thumbs up. The little bell. Oh my goodness. All right. Stay safe, everybody. We're not through this crap yet, all this COVID stuff. So stay safe, and we'll see you next year. And I hope everybody has a great year. All right. Thanks for watching.